We have another problem with the Jaguar today. It rained really hard today, and as you know, with these they purposely leak here. But it was raining while I was driving it. And my knee started getting wet, and all this is soaking wet, and this is soaking wet. This is soaking wet, and this is soaking wet. And I look in the back, and it is all soaking wet right there. And I don't know if you can see it over there. I knew we were having a leak. The carpet will get soaking wet under here. See? Carpet soaking wet. That's soaking wet. And this water is coming down the C-pillar. I think this is the C-pillar. Isn't that the A-pillar, B-pillar, and C-pillar? No, my Trans Am's, this is called the sail panel. But anyways, it's also caused my headliner to drop down. So anyways, under this sunroof, there's supposed to be a drain that runs down here, and you should be able to drop 12 ounces of water in this channel, and it's supposed to come running out under the wheel here. And I don't have anything coming out under the wheel. As you can see, we're plumb full of water here. See this? Isn't that just great? It's ruined my headliner. See what it's done to the headliner? Well, I don't recommend it. See, there's this plastic tray, and it's obviously not draining. So anyways, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but right here, there's a drain. I don't know if I can get it on the camera or not. I'm trying to get this wire down it, but there's a drain right there. And it's obviously plugged up. So there's 4 drains up here. There's 2 on either side. 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And that is literally what, if the water is overrun here, there was water here, goes around this channel and down here onto the headliner. Guys, what I did was took some 22 gauge wire, stranded wire, and I fished it through that hole to about this length here. Okay, so we were down into here before we hit a hard bend and I couldn't go anymore. So now we're going to take the window fender well skirt off and go back up from the bottom. And we're also going to pull the drain in the back, which is right here. You can visualize it right there. That is the drain coming from the back. So if you're tracing it back, you'll see it right there. But behind the navigation system, here it comes again, right there. So we don't need to pull all this apart. The wire only works so far and it would bend, but I found this ugly twist weed eater line. I could feed down in here and get it feeding all the way. This line runs all the way down the A-pillar. Let me show you the other side. I got the other side draining really good. See how the water's coming out right here? The water should come out right here. See it dripping? That's where it drains, from this little hole right here. So to help flush it, got me a watering jug, filled it up full of hot water and Dawn dishwashing liquid, and you just fill it up right there, and you should see it running out. It should be running out at 4 points. It should be running out right here, The other drain comes out right here, so it should be running out there, but I ain't got to the back yet. Attempt to show you, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. I'm going to attempt to show you where the back drain is right here. You would think that it would be back here. It's not. It's right here. There's a plastic tray that goes all the way around there. And this one is totally plugged up. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this camera on it or not, but if you take a little telescoping mirror and you come in here, okay guys, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's the drain right there. Okay guys, I cannot get the left drain unplugged. I've gone all the way to the bottom. See, I still got water right here. So we're going to go at it from the bottom. And if you don't know how to take your wheel well off, there's these little tiny clips that look like this, okay? And this is what locks it in when it goes in there like that. But there's two little tiny grooves. See that? Two little tiny grooves. And you take one of these tools and slide it in there. And then once you get it coming out, you take this bigger one and put in through there and put up. And then I'll lay this on the paint to keep from this part here. I'll pry like this so I don't scratch the paint. But there's only two of these little tiny, I don't know what they're called, push pins, probably. When you slide them in, they go like that, and you push that in, it's what locks in. That's all that's holding this fender well in there. Your drain is right there. Now, if you can see that, it's nasty. And I'm having a heck of a time getting that shoved up in there. So we're getting the water to start to drain, and so I'm going to put the camera down to finish jamming this in there and opening it up. But this one here, when I was cleaning at the top, I pulled a bug out. But it's still not draining. So it's pretty easy to get to. No nuts, no bolts, just these two push pins right there, and this goes under there. So just try not to scratch your paint. But this weed eater line is working awesome. Plus, it's ridged so you can twist it almost like a snake. See that? So I'm going to put the camera down. One other side note, I've been having trouble with it saying the boot is open and not wanting to release. So I go to work on it. Little plastic cap that went over this, and you put a screwdriver in there and there, and you can pop it off. And once I pop that off, and this wasn't working either, see? And once I pop that off, it started working. So I don't know, here it is. So I think the dealership, when they replaced that actuator and the person who got it from me, that I bought it from, I think this was jammed up in there so tight, it wasn't allowing it to release here. But once I took this off, it works fine. Also, this is my string I keep attached to the seat so that when the battery runs dead, I have a way of getting in here. Because my key doesn't work here for some reason. Like I said, right before I got it, the actuator wouldn't open, unlock the trunk, and she took it to the dealership. Well, when it came back, this doesn't work. So I think they just put it on there and jammed it in there. So that's why I like to do stuff myself. There we go. Be prepared to get soaking wet when you finally break it loose. It's going to come pouring out. And it's hot too. So we're going to take a bunch of soapy water and pour it up in there. Take it a minute. And there it comes out the bottom. So we're going to flush that out really good with some Dawn. Okay, I got 2 of them cleared now. I have to do the same thing to the back ones. Another thing that was causing it to leak real bad, and I've had this happen on other vehicles when they start getting old, this rubber in the sun a lot. I had this happen on the back of my boat, on the rub rail on the back of the boat. Even though when you got it, it was all the way up. Maybe it's the winter time, but anyways, it starts shrinking and going back around, and it left a big gap right here, which was allowing an excess amount of water to get in right here. So what I do is I took some black silicone adhesive, put tape on either side of it, laid some saran wrap on the paint, and I had the window up and I put silicone adhesive there, and then I shut the window to help form it here, and when this silicone dries, it'll be a weather-tight seal right there for me. I've done that on Trans Ams too, on the T-tops. Put silicone all around here with saran wrap, put it in, let it cure. Then when you pop it back up, the saran wrap pulls off and it'll form that. It'll form that perfectly. It'll fill that gap in. But these things are designed to leak a little bit. They're not watertight. That's what that drain does.
So like every video and subscribe and hit the follow button and hit the notifications button. Whatever you do, please do those. Bye. Peace out.